What's up guys, it's Timo here and welcome to a super exciting brand new Liverpool transfer video. The Express newspaper and many other newspapers are claiming that Liverpool have triggered the release clause of Timo Werner and they entered negotiations with Timo Werner's representatives on a 5-year contract. So you will have all the details surrounding this story in this video, so stay tuned because lots of interesting new information is packed into this for you guys and your enjoyment. So if you appreciate these informations, leave a like and subscribe if you are new to my channel. Turn on the post notifications so you never miss the latest Liverpool transfer news. So the Express and the Mirror reporting that Liverpool have taken a massive step towards signing Timo Werner. It makes a lot of sense if you think about it. His release clause is 58 million euros, which is about 50 million pounds approximately. And he is just a 23-year-old striker. He's very young, he's a German international and he already has 28 goals this season and like 11 assists in all competitions. And he's just one of the best upcoming young striker talents in the world football, in my opinion. And the transfer expert Nicolo Schira claimed that Liverpool have triggered Werner's release clause. Personal negotiations are on the way according to this report, and the German striker has been offered a 5-year contract worth 8 million euros, which is around 6.7 million pounds per year. So it's not like the biggest contract at Liverpool right now. And this is what Shearer, the transfer expert, wrote. Liverpool have offered Timo Werner a contract until 2025 with the wages of 8 million euros plus bonuses per year. Talks are ongoing to finalize the deal. And he said that Liverpool are ready to pay the release clause of 58 million euros to Leipzig and close the deal until April, because that's when the release clause expires. After April, the clubs have to pay whatever Leipzig wants them to pay for Timo Werner, which will be a lot more than 58 million euros, let's be honest. Timo Werner is worth a lot more than 50 million pounds. He's probably worth at least 80, maybe even 100 million pounds. And Liverpool, many times Jurgen Klopp came out and said that Liverpool are looking for an attacking signing. They are looking at the market, and this makes a lot of sense because Sadio Mane, Mohamed Salah are going away to the Africa Cup of Nations in January for even as much as 6 weeks if their nation gets to the final. And also Salah might be attending the Olympics in the summer, and that could see Salah miss the whole of pre-season plus the first 1 or 2 games of the Premier League season as well. The Olympic Games final, the football tournament's final, is first day of the Premier League season. So I think if Egypt go far in the competition, but even if they don't, then Salah will still miss the start of the Premier League season if he goes to the Olympics, because there is a mandatory 2 or 3 week break after a player attends a summer football tournament. Basically, Mane could miss 1.5 months, Salah could miss 2.5 months of the whole season. So Liverpool definitely need an attacking player. We have Origi, we have Oxlade-Chamberlain, we might have Harry Wilson, but they are just not on the same level as Werner or Salah or Mane or Firmino, not even close. No disrespect, I love Origi, he's a brilliant substitute striker, but we need better players if we want to maintain this level of being the best team in England and potentially the best team in Europe, hopefully this season and next season as well. And his versatility, Timo Werner's versatility, is a very big asset. He can play as a centre forward, out-and-out striker, a number 9, but he can play as an inside forward similar to Salah or Mane on the wing. And transfer expert Duncan Castles thinks that Werner's arrival could lead to the exit of another big star. This is what he said. They can also bring in replacements, Liverpool, such as Timo Werner. You can see with his pace and his physicality, he's a fit for Jurgen Klopp's style of football, brand of football. He's a good alternative to Mane or Salah. You could argue Firmino is the hardest one to replace. That complex link, that false nine role he plays, you have to get a more specific type of forward in there to replace him. If I was Firmino's agent, I would be welcoming talks with Bayern Munich, asking how much they are willing to pay, bring that information back to Liverpool and discuss a pay rise. They can ask Liverpool to match or better Bayern Munich's offer. If I'm Liverpool, I'm going to give him a pay rise and keep him at the club. Very interesting take by Duncan Castles. I don't think Firmino is unhappy or he wants to leave Liverpool. Does he deserve a pay rise? I'm not entirely sure what his current wages are, but probably he deserves it, because without Firmino, Liverpool wouldn't have been so successful in the past 2 or 3 years. And Sky Sport journalist Kaveh Solhekol also tweeted about this Timo Werner to Liverpool situation. This is what he said. As was seen last month when Erling Braut Haaland chose to move from Salzburg to Borussia Dortmund, the best young players are increasingly looking to move to clubs where they are guaranteed to play. And if Liverpool can give his representatives, Timo Werner's, the assurances they need, and Werner will be playing for Liverpool next season, becomes a real possibility. And I'm not sure if that's how Jurgen Klopp works, however, because Jurgen Klopp usually likes his players to be committed to the cause of improving themselves and improving the football club, and they are not looking at any guarantees of titles or any guarantees of playing regular football. What Jurgen Klopp likes in a player is if he comes in and fights for his place and does everything in training possible to get into the starting 11. So I'm not sure if Werner can demand a starting place in the Liverpool side, but I think it will be very, very interesting what Jurgen Klopp does if or when we sign Timo Werner. And according to The Athletic, Werner has already received proposals from Barcelona and Manchester United, but he is waiting to see whether Liverpool make a move. According to these reports in the Express and in the Mirror, Liverpool already made a move, but according to the Athletic, Werner is waiting for Liverpool to make the move. So take these reports with a pinch of salt. And Hughes writes, there is a clause in his contract which means that he can agree a £50 million move away as long as it is negotiated before the deadline in April. And April is like a month away from now. So I think that we can expect an acceleration in Liverpool moving for Timo Werner, because I think out of all the players linked with Liverpool, this makes the most sense. Timo Werner, 27, 28 goals, whatever it is right now, this season, 20 goals every season for the past like 3 or 4 seasons. Very consistent player already at a very young age, and he can play in a variety of positions, so it makes a lot of sense. He is German, he probably knows Jurgen Klopp already. He spoke very highly of Liverpool, saying that they are the best team in the world and Jurgen Klopp is the best manager in the world, and everybody would love to play under Jurgen Klopp in the Premier League for Liverpool. And those are Timo Werner's words. So I think that he wants signing. The big question is, are Liverpool already negotiating with Werner? Is that true? I'm not sure. And The Athletic is reporting that it was put to them by a key source this week that if Jurgen Klopp chooses to go to Werner, who has 28 goals this season, negotiations are most likely to start in the middle of March. So very soon, in like 1 or 2 weeks. This is the month where discussions really got going in previous years on the eye-catching deals that brought in Fabinho and Alisson from Monaco and Roma respectively. So that's where Liverpool start making moves in the transfer market as early as March, because we like to do our deals as early as possible so the player can come in, he can have a full pre-season, get integrated into the Liverpool team, into the Liverpool squad, and he has as much time to learn the Jurgen Klopp way of playing football at Liverpool. And it would be pretty foolish for Liverpool not to go for Werner, because he has 28 goals, as I said, he's 23. Firmino might be still playing at Liverpool in 3 years, but he might be not. his performances might decline in 2 or 3 years, and then we already would have a ready-made replacement for him in the squad. And until then, Werner can play bits and parts of the Liverpool season. I still think that he would play quite a few games, even if we would play maybe against the bigger teams with Salah, Mane, Firmino. But against the smaller sides, we could easily play with Werner, Firmino, Salah, Mane, or Werner, Salah, Mane, or Werner, Firmino, Salah, or Werner, Firmino, Mane. So there are a lot of many different lineups, many different formations that Liverpool could implement, and I think that it's a very, very interesting transfer news in my opinion, because I think that Liverpool will sign a big player in the summer, and I think this makes a lot of sense. As I said, Timo Werner personally said that in terms of Liverpool's style of play, Liverpool would suit his game the most. That's what he said in one of his post-match interviews. I think it was after the Tottenham game, where Timo Werner scored the winning goal in the Champions League. And that game fully convinced me that Werner is ready for the Premier League. Leipzig dominated Tottenham, and Werner was at the focal point of almost every attack. And he could have scored 2 or 3 goals even. And he scored a brilliant penalty, but he could have scored 2 or 3 goals if it wasn't for Hugo Lloris making world-class saves. So Sky Sports are reporting that Werner is almost certain to leave Leipzig in the summer because of his release clause, and he favors a move to Liverpool as long as he gets to play. In the past week, he has described Liverpool as the best club in the world, and Jurgen Klopp, of course, the best coach in the world. On the pitch, he's letting his performances do the talking. He scored, of course, the winner against Tottenham. He was on target again, where Leipzig demolished Schalke 5-0 away from home. That is an absolutely crazy result and a crazy performance. I watched the highlights of the game because I watched most of the Bundesliga highlights, and Werner was just electric in that game as well. And Werner accepts that he would have serious competition on his hands at Anfield. But to be fair to him, he does not believe he's at the level of Salah and Mane and Firmino. But I think that he can learn and develop a lot without being pressured to deliver 20-30 goals a season, because if he doesn't start regularly, he can get away with maybe sometimes not being as good as Salah, Mane or Firmino. We can't expect a 23-year-old Werner to be as world-class as Salah, Mane or Firmino, who are at the absolute peak of their careers, like 28, 29 years old. That's where the footballers, most footballers, especially attackers, are at the peak of their careers. And particularly his goal against Schalke was a typical Timo Werner goal. He was cutting inside from the inside left channel and finishing with his right foot, and I think that he could play there on the left channel, but he could play up front for Liverpool, and I think that it's a very, very interesting prospect. Let me know, how would you line up the Liverpool team against the smaller sides if we signed Werner? Would you play a magnificent front four and just 2 defensive midfielders, or would you play one of the big 3 on the bench or one of the big 4 on the bench, even against smaller sides, to keep the balance of the midfield? Let me know. And Jurgen Klopp gave a very interesting insight into what made Liverpool this winning team, this winning machine. Let's see what he says, and I quote: "The Champions League final against Tottenham helped a lot to know we are able to keep winning. I said after that game it was the worst final I played with the team, but we won. We learned in that season to do the right things again and again. It's a long time ago, but we had to work on that. Consistency, staying in the game, using different situations. The set pieces brought us back tonight, getting the momentum back again, because we had a couple after each other. There were so many things we could do better, but to reach this number of games, you cannot be brilliant all the time." This was after the West Ham comeback of Liverpool trailing 2-1 and winning 3-2. And Jurgen Klopp continued: "We just try to make the best of what we have. I am pleased with the attitude we showed. We lost a little bit of patience in the first half. with what we did offensively. We wanted it a little bit too much, but we were forced to stay calm. The best goal we scored didn't count, but sometimes you have to squeeze it, and that's what we did tonight. Oh, brilliant. And Jurgen Klopp also commented on equaling Manchester City's insane 18-game winning streak in the Premier League. I still can't believe that Liverpool have won 18 games in a row. That's almost half a season. And Jurgen Klopp also said, I never thought it would be broken or equaled. We did it, and I cannot believe it, to be honest. When we equalized, the stadium was rocking, and that helps us. Whatever will happen this season is an effort of all of us. I could not be more thankful or appreciate the support we get. You see Man City playing, and this is the team in world football that are able to win all their other games. We have to keep winning. We need to be ready. It is a home game for Watford next. It is not about shining, but the hardest work. As long as the boys are ready to work hard, I am not concerned, but there is still a job to do. So Jurgen Klopp is still trying to squeeze every last bit out of this Liverpool side, and I'm loving it. That's the kind of mentality that you need if you want to stay at the top of world football. And Liverpool inserted a brilliant clause into the Coutinho deal. When we sold Coutinho to Barcelona, we made a clause that Barcelona has to pay 90 million pounds on top of any player's market value if they want to sign him from Liverpool. So let's say Barcelona want to sign Sadio Mane. Sadio Mane is worth like 150 million right now. Barcelona need to pay like 90 million plus the 150 million just to get Mane, and that's going to be, of course, a big deterrent for Barcelona, and I'm just loving every bit of it. And the Liverpool Echo is saying that it's almost inevitable that Xherdan Shaqiri will leave Liverpool because he only played 216 minutes of Premier League football over the past 12 months. That's just a little over 3 full games. Of course, Divock Origi and Takumi Minamino, who is a January signing, are both ahead of the seemingly always injured Shaqiri, and it's always just little knocks, little niggles that Shaqiri has. But it looks like that he just can't never get fit and stay fit to have an extended run, at least of sitting on the bench and coming on in games sometimes. And I'm sure that Jurgen Klopp is just fed up of Shaqiri being always injured. So I think we might get rid of him. But I think we need an option, another option from the bench. And I think Harry Wilson should be kept in the summer. He's doing great at Bournemouth, in a struggling Bournemouth side. He's one of their top scorers. So I think that we should keep Harry Wilson. He's much younger, a lot younger than Shaqiri, and sell Shaqiri and maybe give that place to Harry Wilson. Also, Liverpool announced a pre-tax profit of 42 million pounds for the season ending May 2019. Liverpool turnover up to a record 533 million, which means that Liverpool made 533 million in total. And Liverpool accounts, of course, that means that after tax it's 33 million profit, which is not a lot, but considering that it was 223 million pounds invested in Jurgen Klopp's squad, and also the club-wide wage bill is 310 million, which is one of the biggest in the Premier League, but still not the biggest. Man United, Man City, and possibly even Chelsea have a bigger wage bill. And of course, these healthy numbers are in stark contrast to Manchester City, who are, in investigation for, breaching financial fair play rules. And it was quite ironic how Manchester City won against Real Madrid with some favorable VAR decisions, especially the push when Gabriel Jesus pushed Sergio Ramos in the back. I felt it was a slight nudge, and it was a little foul, not a big foul, but a little foul, but the referee gave the goal and VAR ruled it as not a clear and obvious mistake. So yes, they are entitled to do that, but it's quite interesting. That probably gives Manchester City an almost unassailable advantage, because I just can't see Real Madrid winning by 2 goals away at the Etihad. unless they improve massively, because defensively Real Madrid looked very shaky, and offensively Man City looked much better even away from home. It was probably the best result in Manchester City's European history, if you consider everything, because Real Madrid are of course the most successful club in Europe with 13 Champions League titles. And I don't really like either club, but I wanted Man City to go out just because it would be probably hilarious to see the meltdown of Guardiola and the players if they went out of the Champions League so early. But it's just interesting to see what will happen in the second leg. And of course Liverpool have a big task on our hand to knock out Atletico Madrid. I'm really looking forward to that second leg, but I'm also very nervous, because if Liverpool go out in the Champions League, then we will only have the FA Cup to play for, because the Premier League will be probably over the title race in like 4 or 5 game weeks in the Premier League, and we would still have 6 game weeks left. But I'm sure that Jurgen Klopp will want the absolute maximum from the players. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. See you later. Goodbye.